Hi there, this is Josh Spiegel, and this is a Tech Tuesday virtual style about Chrome extensions and the apps. And so I'm going to try to walk you through what that looks like. So real quick, an explanation, an app is a program, just like it says, that often takes you to a website where an extension kind of adds productivity to the Chrome browser. So if you're using Google Chrome, your window will look somewhat like mine. There's a thing called the Chrome Store where you can get these extensions for free. Let me show you first how to see extensions. So if you go over here, yours might look like three dots. I have some sort of warning. But if you go to More Tools and then Extensions, it's somewhat of a clunky way to get there. Then a new tab will open and it'll show you all of the extensions that you have. Another way to do that is to go to Extensions, and just go to Chrome, and this will take you to the Chrome Store, right? And it'll take you exclusively. And here you can kind of search and look. So there's always new stuff happening, and sometimes some older stuff goes away. But essentially what I'm going to try to do is recommend a couple things to you. You certainly can go off and choose what you'd like. I'm going to highly recommend, one app in particular. It's called Extensity, and it allows you to keep track of your extensions. If you start adding some, you're going to see it actually becomes pretty difficult to do. So if you click here, it'll take you to the web store for this particular extension, and then where mine says added, you can just click, I think it's a blue add button or something like that. But let me show you what it actually looks like, and it's just this weird sort of yin yang thing, but then it pulls down every single thing you have, whether it's extensions or apps here, and you can see just all the things that I kind of use briefly. And so that would be a great first step, and that would appear up here in your toolbar area. And so you can see kind of the most frequent ones I have. So anything in red are other things that I'm going to really suggest you check out. Whether you add them or not is up to you, but Gmail Checker, if you're like me, maybe you want to know if you have some emails, it'll give you a little counter up in the corner. Boomerang is another great one. You can send things at a particular time. So if you wanted to send out an email but not until all your students took the test or something like that, that might be a good tool to use. And to-do list for Gmail, these are all in the Gmail emailing kind of application, and you can create your own to-do list or task manager, so like what you need to do. So Drive, if you add this, you can simply add something straight into your Drive. You just click it. Moving on, there's all sorts of ones. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, but Google Calendar, another one, right? When what's going on in that day, you can add something pretty quickly, so without having to just click Google Calendar or go up to the square. Another one is Screencastify. You can basically do what I'm doing right now, but create a video using a Chromebook or the Macs that we have. And moving on, audio, YouTube replay. So sometimes I'll play a song or a video as students kind of come in as kind of sort of the opener, but it's a bummer when the video ends and I have to go and I have to click the replay button. This will allow you to just keep looping that YouTube video, or if you wanted to put on calm music for your students while they're doing something, or some sort of dramatic music while they're doing some activity, that would be a great tool. As well as one of my big pet peeves, this isn't perfect, but YouTube often puts ads before their videos now to make more money, but that's not always how I want to spend my time in my classroom watching some 30-second ad, and so this does block some of the ads. Moving on, The scissors tab, this is a great student use, so a lot of these think maybe how your students and not just yourself can use this, but this will split your screen into even parts, and so you might have something that students are working on over here, but they need to reference this, or they have two resources open. That's a good way to quickly just kind of divide it up. So if you are a Pinterest teacher, there's a Pinterest button for you. And Google Read and Write, you should have received some training on this, but this is a really fantastic tool, especially for students with dyslexia or students who struggle with reading. It's a really substantial tool. I'll do a whole other Tech Tuesday about this, but I think somebody from the district should have been around to talk to you about that. Moving on, Chrome Speak is just a text-to tool. So it'll read aloud any text, or you can speak and it'll put words on the screen. Rewordify is another great one. So it'll help students who struggle to, it'll come up with a different set of words to, for a word or a chunk of text that you have. Moving on, there's some other things like weather, miscellaneous stuff, calculators. Google Keep is another one that I think I'll make a whole Tech Tuesday about. But this is a basically virtual to-do list. One of the things I really like is you can share this with someone, so your students or your spouse, and so you can have kind of a virtual grocery list going. And that is, so timers often, I'd say, hey, we have 5 minutes left, or 5 minutes to clean up, or you have 5 minutes to do this thing. So rather than going online and finding a timer really quick, if I just click this, up pops the timer. There's all sorts of other stuff. It kind of depends on who you are and what you're interested in. Readability is another great one. And so this gets rid of all the junk on the sides. So like, bananas add fat, or whatever junk kind of clutters up the screen, so it's just text. Sometimes this does get rid of pictures that are related to the actual article. So, but it is a way to clean it up for kids who get easily distracted, or if you want to show something that looks much cleaner and you're worried about whatever trashy ads are on the side of a site you might use. And these are apps. So these will just take you straight to, like I said, those websites that exist. But Pocket is a really great thing. If you ever see something and you're like, man, I really want to go back and look at that, but I don't have time now, you can click Pocket and it'll literally throw it in a little Google Pocket for you, and then you can check it out later. There's all sorts of other stuff. I'm a big fan of Quizlet. So there's a Quizlet app, takes you straight there. And SiteLighter, I think, is a resource we used here in the high school. But this will allow students to literally highlight text, and then it'll go to basically a collection of citations they have, and it'll automatically cite their work. So as they do research, it's a really great tool. There's others. So feel free. These are starting to be by content-specific areas, so you can check out that. And there's way more than this. But for our theme and for our time, I just wanted to kind of get to it. If you want to jam out with music, or you want to know, are we going to have a snow day? So that is it. So guys, here's the Google Doc. Please feel free to look around. The store also is a great place to look. So hopefully that is helpful. And from here on out, I'm going to ask you then to take a screenshot of the extensions you used or the apps, and then just do a brief write-up of how you plan on using them. Thanks.